online virtual at-home learning. We've been spending a great deal of time and energy and resources this summer in preparation so that our teachers are providing high-quality instruction to our students in a virtual environment.
Dr. Scribner, Jason Allen with CBS 11. How much communication did you have with health authorities ahead of this order, and what did you express to them about as they pondered this decision?
Well, several of the superintendents in Tarrant County worked very closely with county health. It was our position that we wanted students and teachers to be safe. Everyone wants students back in school, but we want to do it in a safe way. Everyone wants our schools open, but we need to do it in a safe way. We don't want to open our schools haphazardly. We want to open our schools when it's safe and in a way that they can remain open. We know that the Memorial Day weekend resulted in a spike of cases about 3 weeks later. We know that now, today, about 3 weeks or so after 4th of July, we're seeing the same kinds of increases. Health experts expected the same kind of increases after the Labor Day holiday, so waiting until September 28th and reevaluating at that time was the position that we all agreed upon.
Do you already have a plan to open the schools at the end of September? What kind of restriction is going to be social distancing, less students in school? What is going to be the plan?
Yes, yesterday's document actually is the same plan that we will be implementing, whether it be in August, now in September, or perhaps sometime later in the future. Every large urban district in America has a similar protocol, a re-entry protocol, and that's what that document entailed. Things like requiring students and teachers to wear masks, shields, plexiglass, fogging machines, additional cleaning. The protocol that we distributed yesterday, that will be the protocol that we implement in weeks to come when school does in fact open. Eventually, we will all return to school. We want to make sure we're doing that in a safe way. Our Board of Trustees will be hosting town halls, virtual town halls, next Monday night in Spanish, on a Tuesday night in English, and several after those dates. Yes.
You're ready. Your district is ready.
We are as ready as any other district. These are unprecedented times, and safety and security is the number one priority. We want to make sure that our teachers are safe and healthy, that our students are safe and healthy, and these town halls will allow us to receive additional feedback from our school community, from parents, from other community members, where they can ask questions and offer suggestions.
Can you give us an idea what the curriculum will look like, especially for younger?
Yeah, it'll be much different than last spring. Last spring, the entire nation pivoted over a weekend. We had 30-year and 25-year veteran teachers who immediately became first-year teachers again because they'd never done instruction online. This fall, it will look very, very different. We will have a Fort Worth ISD curriculum taught by a certified Fort Worth ISD teacher. It is our intent that instruction will originate from our classrooms, that principals will be able to provide support, provide guidance, and provide reinforcement so that students are learning. In fact, the guidelines that we receive from TEA are also much more well formulated. Instruction will be 4 hours of engagement with a teacher and a student, 3 hours for our younger students. We are looking also in the order at the opportunity to bring in our students with the greatest special needs, those students who are the most difficult to educate virtually. We will be safely inviting them back into our campuses so that our special ed programs can be implemented, and that our students' individual educational plans can be upheld. Absolutely. Not only the PPE that is provided to us by the state, but also our district has, with the board support, has invested significant dollars in PPE, but also with regard to connectivity. The board approved 24,000 devices to be distributed last spring. Tonight we'll vote on $2.4 million investment in more hotspots. This is a systemic problem. We are dealing with it in the short term, but really with the support from our trustees, from our business community, from our philanthropic community. Here in Fort Worth, we're looking to make a significant investment in connectivity across the city.
Dr. Scribner, one of the concerns that was brought up during Commissioner's report this morning when this was announced is that kids haven't been in school since March, and their concern is that this gap is going to get wider. Where do you stand?
We expect to see historic academic regression. Students have not been in class since March the 6th in Fort Worth, Texas. Our perspective is we must do as good a job as possible, humanly possible, with our virtual school. But also, once we get back to school, really invest in our students beyond the school day. Since we know that virtual learning can take place when things are safe and we can welcome back our teachers and students to school, and that our schools will remain open, that we can extend the school day in person for our traditional school day and virtual in the afternoons, evenings, and weekends.
Since this news has rolled out, we've already seen parents on social media expressing concern, especially for parents who are in single-parent households. How are they going to balance child care, work, and all of the above? What do you say to those parents? Are there resources to help them?
Well, we're working with our community partners right now. We know that the order does allow, in one case, to have teachers have their students come to school with them. We heard that from the medical officials that was allowable. We certainly want to look at every possibility. There are some parameters by which students can be provided supervision, and virtual learning can also take place in places other than schools. We want to make sure that we're working with all of our community partners to ensure that that's a possibility.
What about the food programs that a lot of students rely on?
Right. In Fort Worth, since the original shutdown in March, we have distributed over 900,000 meals, almost 1 million meals. That will continue through the summer and certainly continue in the fall. Food insecurity is also a major concern in our city. 85% of our student population lives at or below the federal poverty line. Schools are the places that many of our families come to, not only for academic support, but also for social and emotional and in this case, food security issues. We want to continue to be the social service hub in the community. If they have any questions for our board president.
Mr. Ramos, the plan came out just yesterday, 24 hours ago, that had kids starting in classes if they wanted to. Would you have, I guess, did you know that this order was coming today? And if you did, was it your intent that maybe it was going to change, the hope that it was going to change? Would you prefer to have kids starting in class? Was that your hope that would happen for you?
My hope was that our superintendent and our county officials would be able to work together to find the right plan for our students, and knowing that that safety is a priority of the entire board. After all, we're community members, and most of us are parents, as is our superintendent in our school system. So we knew, and we hoped and we knew that they would be able to work together to find a solution for now. Right now, there's, as what's been mentioned, a lot of concern at every level: parents, students, teachers, community members at large, and then also the conversations about so much mobility that was going to be taking place with that many students and that many adults moving throughout the city. I'm just proud of our county officials and our superintendent were able to work together and find a solution for now.
Maybe you can give us in Spanish like a quick review of things. If you're ready, or Spanish.
Pregúntame en español entonces.
Sí, ¿qué tan preparado está usted para recibir a los niños y qué es lo que va a poner en práctica para asegurar que regresen?
Cada día estamos preparando más para el primer inicio de escuela el 17 de agosto. Las clases van a empezar en línea, virtual, hasta el 28 de septiembre. Y estamos ahora preparando a todos los maestros, especialmente los que educan a los niños con necesidades especiales, para que estén recibiendo educación en un nivel más alto posible. Algún día sí vamos a regresar en persona, y en ese tiempo ya vamos a tener experiencia con educación virtual, así que podemos dar en esas fechas educación durante el día en persona y también aumentándola con virtual.
Última pregunta en español. ¿Qué va a haber diferente cuando esto pase? Me mencionaba, va a haber mascarillas, va a haber plásticas. ¿Me puede hablar un poquito de los lo que va a implementar
Sí.
de seguridad.
Todos los alumnos van a tener cubrebocas cuando regresen. Después del 28 de septiembre. También tenemos, vamos a limpiar las escuelas más regularmente con químicas y mucho más preparación. También los plexiglass. How do you say plexiglass? Sí, sí, sí. Y además hemos invertido no solamente en cubrebocas, pero también en plexiglass y otras materias de protección personal.
Oiga, la gente quiere saber por qué hubo tanta diferencia del plan de ayer al
Sí,
plan de hoy.
sí.
En tan solo 24 horas.
Sí, el plan de ayer no empezó ayer. El plan de ayer es todavía válido. Algún día vamos a regresar e implementar educación en persona y ese plan da las instrucciones en cómo hacerlo. Ese plan es relevante hasta la fecha y después del 28 de septiembre vamos a implementar ese plan. Si no hubiera sido por las recomendaciones del condado, hubiéramos estado planeando para empezar. Pero lo más importante es la única manera en que podemos empezar es una manera segura, no solamente para la salud de los alumnos, pero también de los maestros.
¿Usted habla español, Ramos?
Sí, sí.
Mejor que el mío.
Perfecto. Le quería preguntar acerca de eso. ¿Qué creen que faltó? ¿Una comunicación entre las autoridades de salud del condado y el distrito escolar? ¿O qué fue lo que falló?
No creo que falló nada, porque como simplemente ha dicho el superintendente, era un plan que se tenía que poner en lugar. Y el condado es otro sistema diferente. Ellos están preocupados por todo el condado. Nosotros somos una parte de ese condado. Simplemente queríamos que la gente supiera qué es lo que iba a suceder después de que terminara esa orden. Esa orden, si pasara o no, teníamos que tener nosotros un plan. Ellos tienen otro diferente y el de nosotros, pero somos varios en ese condado.
¿Qué tan confiados están ustedes en que todo va a salir bien?
Bueno, le estuviera mintiendo si le digo que yo tengo mucha confianza. Simplemente estamos en diferentes muy difíciles, ¿verdad? Pero lo que sí le podemos asegurar es de que estamos haciendo lo más posible para asegurar la seguridad de nuestros estudiantes y los maestros y maestras y nuestras familias en la comunidad.
Y hablaron acerca de los retos que van a enfrentar, acerca de la regresión, o un poco, van a regresar los estudiantes un poco atrasados. ¿Cómo piensan ustedes combatir ese obstáculo?
La manera que estamos tratando de combatir eso es de tener estos planes de educación virtual, porque sabemos que se van a seguir aumentando esas diferencias y vamos a estar atrasados. Eso ya lo reconocemos. Nuestros estudiantes que ya estaban atrasados se van a atrasar un poquito más y sabemos que nuestras familias van a batallar en tratar de ayudarles, pero ellos están haciendo todo lo posible para asegurarse que se minimice, para que no haga tanto en ese espacio de los estudiantes.
Y para aquellos padres de familia que a lo mejor están un poco preocupados de que no van a poder ayudar a sus hijos con las tareas, porque pues a lo mejor el internet se les dificulta, ¿qué tipo de ayuda hay para ellos? ¿Qué van a hacer?
La ayuda que le vamos a dar es que nosotros aquí en la mesa directiva del sistema escolar vamos a darle acceso a eso, al internet, vamos a darles acceso a la computadora, a la laptop que sea necesario. Nosotros vamos a hacer todo lo posible bajo de nosotros para ayudarles con esos asuntos.
¿Y cuántos hotspots van a votar hoy? ¿Para cuántos van a votar?
Hoy vamos a votar por la cantidad es de $2.4 millones. Sí.
Will you have to increase that at all with this announcement? Does that number change tonight?
Our investment tonight will be $2.4 million for hotspots, and moving forward, we very well may be investing more. In order to educate our students appropriately under these conditions requires money. We are spending a lot of money on PPE. We're spending a lot of money on face shields, plexiglass, fogging machines, hotspots, and devices. Anyone who thinks that the public education around the country, not only here in Texas, can pull this off without an additional investment is incorrect. Students are our number one asset. We need to invest in them as the assets that they are. What we have here is a public health crisis. The reason the county stepped in, because a public health health crisis requires a public health solution. We're focusing on education in conjunction with them. We do not want to let this public health crisis result in a generational educational crisis, as was pointed out before. The digital gap, the educational gap will only be reinforced when some students have resources that others don't. We are investing in those students from an equity lens to help those students in the greatest need so that they do not fall further behind.
Do you have a budget estimate on what the impact is going to be besides the 2.4?
We'll have to judge that moving forward. It's going to be really tens of millions of dollars. We know that. Should we have come back earlier? Transportation is a great example. How do you social distance on a school bus? Likely, you have to run 2 routes, and that's double the mileage, double the expense. So the state and the federal leaders, it is our hope that they recognize that public education is key to our economic prosperity, and that they invest in it as such.
I apologize if you already answered this, but what are some of the exceptions you're making for the special needs students or people without internet access?
The special education students who have an IEP, individual educational plan, will, if that IEP cannot be fulfilled in a virtual space, then we will be allowing those students into school buildings with appropriate social distancing and appropriate protection for both student and adult. Also, with regard to students who don't have internet access or appropriate devices, we're attacking that problem. We have been doing so since last spring, and will continue to do so. It is our hope that we have provided all the necessary technology, but obviously with mobility, as was pointed out earlier, we're going to have to stay on top of that. And again, an additional investment will be necessary from the state or the federal government to help our school districts, particularly urban school districts, address this issue.
And as far as hotspots, are you delivering them to the houses, or are you taking them off?
We have two ways of doing that. We do front porch visits with social workers, with our staff. We have an equity division that goes out and reaches out to students who are in the greatest need. We also know one of the biggest challenges during this time is that schools are the places where students often feel the most safe. And the issues of abuse and issues of neglect, that schools are where those places, where those things get reported. We want to make sure that we are doing everything possible to identify. Obviously, this is not a perfect system. It's our hope that Tarrant County, the state of Texas, the nation takes this seriously, that we all wear our masks, that we get the virus under control, so that we can come back to school in a safe way and address all of the social issues that schools address beyond academics.
Regarding the students with the IEP or the plans, do you know how many that applies to roughly right now, or is that something you've ever seen?
In general, in public education, it's about 10 to 11% of your student population.
One more question.
None?
You talked about the hurdle that teachers had in the spring going to online. Are there new resources available to teachers that weren't available in the spring to make this easier this time around, or what resources
Yeah.
are available?
Our curriculum team has been planning and working all summer long to provide a more robust online curriculum. We all pivoted, and the program that we were using in the spring, that many districts were using in spring, is not the program that we're using this fall in 2.0 of virtual learning. Additionally, I think teachers understand the importance of providing high quality instruction in the fall. We heard from our teachers loud and clear. It's important that not only students are safe, but faculty and staff are safe, and I think that you're going to see a very different instructional product, not only in our district, but across districts in Texas and across the nation.
Okay, thank you guys very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.